Just another drug addict. That's what a lot of us in this world are labeled as. That's what a lot of us in this world feel like. It's pretty hard not to be labeled like that by your family members, by the people around you, by the people you love and care about. If you do any sort of substance, you are a drug user, you are a abuser, you're going to be treated differently. A lot of people don't understand because as tough as life got, they never decided to do any sort of substance. But this is not me. Wholeheartedly, I am a drug addict. I'm addicted to all sorts of shit, man. If you name it, I've probably done it, you know. I've been on all sorts of shit, man. I smoke weed, you know. I'm smoking weed all the time. I smoke Nick all the time. I snort some stuff on occasions, you know. I got myself some prescriptions, you know. Crush that shit up and snort it. That's besides the point, though. The title of this video, as you can probably tell, I'm just another drug addict, and I'm here to introduce myself into your life, and hopefully you'll watch some more of me. Now, the first thing you should know about me is I'm addicted to a lot of things. I have a very addictive personality. Everything I do is ridiculous in every single sense. You should not be like me. I'm not a role model by any sense. Hey, when you look at me, the first thing you should think about is, you know, this guy was buying Boof Nick in the 6th grade. He was having seizures because of the Boof shit that he was getting. I crush up my fucking seizure medicine and snort that shit, bro. Like, I could not stress enough, I'm just not a role model. And I never will be. I'm just some 18-year-old that really likes FNAF and doing drugs. Now, this channel is something that I always really wanted to make, and I just never really had the balls to make it. And really until now. Because at this point, I am a legal adult. I'm all these things, but I still can't do the things I want to do. I can't talk about the things that I want, and I figured that this would be the perfect outlet for me, really. Now I'm using this as my outlet because it's kind of the only thing that can relieve my stress, really, is, you know, I do all these things to relieve my stress, and it just doesn't work out all that well because I can't be who I want to be. You know, that's kind of what this is. This is me being myself. In the future, especially 3 years in the future, I would like to do a lot more with this channel, but for right now, this is kind of what my content's limited to, since showing my face and name kind of puts me at a disadvantage in life. Because I do plan on going to college. It's something that's really on my mind. You know, I don't plan on dropping out, doing drugs, and getting rich off YouTube, because I don't see that ever happening. Yeah, I definitely missed the mark by about 10 years if I wanted that to happen. But, you know, I've just been enjoying life. I have a human and social services certificate. I come home, do my drugs, calm down, you know, I go to school the next day, getting A's, B's, sometimes C's. You know, I'm doing pretty solid, I'd say. That's sure not enough for everybody else, though. It's enough for me, but I don't know if it's enough for everybody else. I had a family nagging at me about it, you know. Want me to be healthy and everything, and I understand it, but, you know, it's my life, man. Let me live it. And it's also, like, very hypocritical. Like, I have a lot of family who work in, you know, pretty decent positions, but they were all little dickheads when they were kids. Like, I go to Thanksgiving and I get to hear these stories about how my uncle was letting another buddy of his that was like 3 years younger than him get a fake in his name. Stuff like that, you know. Like, I've heard so many crazy stories at Thanksgiving, and you might as well spout on about all of them, you know. Introduction to me, let's talk about my family, too. I have 2 older cousins who are in their, like, 20s now, and they also did the exact same thing. The younger one got a fake in the older one's name, so they could get alcohol and stuff whenever they were younger. According to my mom, my aunt, who's a CEO now, used to smoke a lot of pot in college, too, with her little fucking chihuahua. I used to live with my aunt. I remember that little chihuahua. Shit bit the hell out of me all the time. So I was also a little dickhead-ass kid. Like, I hit that little chihuahua with like a lightsaber, and I feel so bad about it. I miss that dog. Because it was like, at the very end, it had like cancer. It was so sweet then. Because it was kind of helpless, and then it kind of relied on me, and I felt bad for all those years tormenting the dog. Now that I think about it, that dog definitely got cancer from like exposure to weed smoke, if that's true. My mother, on the other hand, claims to have never done drugs. I don't know if I believe it, because she's fucking crazy, but she says she's never done them. So at least I come from one parent that doesn't have drug addicts in their family. It's actually not even true, because all the family members that I just mentioned are from her side of the family. Oh, dude, my dad, ever since I was 12, he's been on my ass, I'll tell you what. Now, for a little background, my dad has a lot of drug addicts in his side of the family. He comes from a long line of drug addicts. He grew up living in a car because his, mother was pretty busy spending her money on drugs, so she wasn't, spending her money on a house for them to live in, which is sad and all, and I've never had to live a life like that, so I wouldn't know that pain, I guess. But, he's been on my ass to not ever do any drugs because of that, because of how he had to live when he was a kid, which I feel like that's not a fair expectation to put on me, but, because of what he witnessed as a kid. But, whenever I was younger, whenever I got to see him one day every month, maybe every other weekend at this time period, I'm not 100% sure, we lived with Glinda, I remember that. And I have an aunt who was, very young at the time. I want to say, I guess, maybe, 14, and this was in, 2010. No, it would have been later than that, but, somewhere around there, somewhere between 2010 and 2013. And, she was just not taken care of. My dad had to step in and take care of her. It was very sad. Now, on the rare occasion that I would see my grandma Glinda actually stepping in and being the mother to my aunt, she was always smoking. She would only mention the bad things that my aunt did, and then she'd be smoking a cigarette all the while, dude. Those walls were as yellow as could be. I can't remember exactly what hard substances she did because I was too young to care or even know. But I do know that she was on harder stuff than, just smoking nicotine, because that's nothing really. But my dad seeing this, obviously he doesn't want me to repeat the cycle and everything like that. So, yeah, he moves us out of there. He finally gets his own house and everything. But for whatever reason, that cigarette image and the smell, everything, the flavor, whenever the smoke hit my face, I remembered all of it. And I just thought it was the coolest thing in the world. And especially in movies when I saw it, whenever I first saw nicotine, I thought it was cool as fuck. I also had another little buddy, and for the sake of this video, we're going to call him Antweenus. I met Antweenus whenever I was in preschool. He wasn't in school yet, I don't think. But I was in preschool, I met him, and Antweenus was an eccentric character. He wasn't even in school yet, and he was talking about how him and his older sister go out, and they pick up cigarette butts off the floor and smoke them. And I was like, that sounds cool as shit, sign me up. Now, this wouldn't be the first time that I ever smoked nicotine, because I actually pussied out of it. I just let him do it. But, that was my first experience ever seeing, my friends do drugs. And that shaped my friendships for the rest of my life, to be honest. I still pick friends exactly like that. They're the most fun to be around. See, the first time I actually smoked any sort of nicotine would have actually been, 5 years after that. I was just with my cousin. He offered me to hit that hide, and I hit that hide for sure. Anyways, that's going to do it for this video. I'll talk to you later. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Like and sub.